Is Amazon FBA really passive income? Now, this is something that so many gurus will tell you about Amazon FBA. Amazon FBA is such passive income, and if you've got a 9 to 5, Amazon FBA is what you should be doing. But they fail to tell you that or how to actually make it passive income, because trust me, Amazon FBA really isn't passive income. If you don't know how to automate, systemize, and actually have a bulletproof system that allows you to make money consistently each month when you're busy as well, you will not be able to do Amazon FBA. And I can tell you that as a fact. Most of these people that are telling you it's passive income, one, they're probably doing very little numbers in sales. They're probably doing 20, 10,000 in sales. And most of the time, they've been doing this for years and somehow they haven't managed to scale it, which most of you realistically don't want to just be sat on the same amount, because you're not going to be able to quit your job like that. So, you want to at least get it to, most of you here want to get it to the 5K, 6K profit per month, because the truth is, again, which they don't tell you, is if you're at 6K per month, you still need to reinvest your money each month, right? For cash flow, you can't just take all 6 out. 6K or 5K profit is a comfortable amount where you can start withdrawing 2, 3K a month, because you still need 2K or at least half to go back into your cash flow. So in today's video, I'm going to break down all of the misconceived ideas that you're being fed, how to actually make Amazon FBA passive income, whether it actually is passive income or not. We can decide with each other on this. We can decide with each other during this video. And finally, how to build that bulletproof system. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. And as usual, we've got the whiteboard for you today. So when it comes to passive income, what actually is passive income? Like, let's actually define what passive income is. Now, everyone looks to passive income as basically money in with no work. Like, that's what it is, like no work. And this is the thing though. There are 2 types of work. There are physical, and physical it doesn't just mean laying bricks. Physical means on your laptop, doing admin, calling, walking around, picking things up. That's all physical. And then you have mental, right? Now, mental is like management, right? So mental can come down to the fact of, having to worry about things. So has my shipment gone in? Have I got sales? Are we spending enough? All of these things. That's the mental side of things, right? So when people say passive income, most people don't want this. And let's be honest, people don't want this either, okay? And is that too much to ask? Well, to be honest with you, it's not, right? You can run a business where those 2 things just don't even exist. The only reason you'll have any sort of mental is generally due to attachment, right? The only reason you may feel some sort of mental towards your business is attachment, because it's your business, and as it's your business, you kind of want to, look after it, right? That's just how business owners are. So if we think about Amazon FBA, right? Let's break it down into physical tasks, and let's break it down into mental tasks. So those are the 2 different tasks that we can be doing. So when we're now thinking about how we can make this passive, what do we have to do? Well, we have to list through what's physical and mental, and then we need to go through how can we leverage other people's time and other people's physical and mental to allow us to detach ourselves. Again, this is not what people talk about. In order to make it passive income, people just say, oh, it's passive income because you're making money on your phone. You can make money on your phone and it can be the biggest headache of your life. I promise you. So there's some times where I've made money on my phone and I thought, well, I actually could have worked the job and I would have made more money. Most of these Amazon gurus that are running this, right? They're making 2, 3K a month profit, let's say. Trust me, they're better off working a full-time job. I can promise you that now. They're better off climbing the corporate ladder than doing what they're doing. And hence why obviously a lot of them are on YouTube and stuff like this, because they need it. Whereas with me, I've been building this business. I've got it to the point now where it's 15K profit per month, 100K in sales, constantly scaling to ideally soon 30, 40, 50K profit per month, right? So for me, I understand how this all works, right? And I actually made it passive income because I'm only working 1 to 2 hours a day. So I'm gonna go through this with you again. So physical and mental, right? What are the physical tasks that are happening in your Amazon FBA business? Well, your physical tasks are mainly, right? So physical, I will say sourcing. Sourcing products is a physical task, yeah, it requires at least 2 to 3 hours per day of sourcing products, okay? Packing products is physical, as you can imagine. Sourcing can be sourcing products. It can be also like supplier sourcing as well. So suppliers, if you're doing Amazon wholesale, you're talking to suppliers, you're outreaching. So we can say outreach. Packing, sourcing, okay? And the final one of this is admin as well. So admin is like purchasing. And admin is like invoices. And just organization in general. Now, what is mental? Well, mental is stress. That is one main thing when you're running this business. You're going to have the stress of certain things, for example, stock lost, for example, or no sales on items. And those are kind of the two main ones for mental, or even one. It's kind of the stress, right? You could argue mental is also management as well. So management can be mental, because when you're doing management, management can take on some sort of mental side. So let's now break this down, how we can actually get rid of this, right? So let's actually start with the physical side of stuff. Now, with the physical side of stuff, you guys have seen my videos and I talk about it time and time again. We have sourcing, right? Now, sourcing can be outsourced to virtual assistants, right? And by the way, in terms of all this outsourcing and all of that, make sure to check the link in my description to one company or make sure to check the links in my description to how you can automate the business. There's certain agencies that will do this for you. They'll hire the staff for you, as in train them. They will be taught on all of this, because the worst thing you want is hire this, but they don't even know how to do this. That's going to give you more mental waste, okay? So this is why if you are going to get rid of this physical, you need to make sure they are reliable. I think that's one key thing. In order to replace yourself, you need people who are reliable. And hence why going through an agency and someone who is or knows what it takes to be reliable will be very, very important. So I'll leave all the details below in the description, so make sure to check that out. Now, if we continue, let's think about sourcing. We said VAs, right? Virtual assistants, so you can hire them. Packing, prep centers, right? Admin equals admin VA, right? So this is all very easily outsourced. I've gone through this in other videos. What do you need to do though in order to have this, right? You need capital. You know, you need to run this system. You need at least bare minimum, at least 2K to run this system. Because this in of itself, to actually set up, will cost you 1K. And then obviously to keep it running, it's going to cost you anywhere between, I would say, 300 or 250 on the low end to 500 on the high end, okay, per month. And prep is different, because prep is based on what you send in. So because it's based on what you send, there's no fixed cost, which is very, very useful for prep. Rather than you get a unit and you're not sending stock in each month. I think having a prep center is so useful, because there's no pressure. If you don't send in stock that month, you're not going to lose money, right? Which is amazing. You know, I've had that before where I haven't sent stuff in. This is very, very important, all right? Now let's talk about the mental side. Mental. Now, this is one thing that not a lot of people talk about, which is the mental side. Now, when it comes to the mental side of things, right, you need to think about having a CEO almost, okay? This might sound really, really scary. You know, you might be thinking, Zach, I just work in Tesco's, or Zach, I just work in this job and I have no business experience. It doesn't matter. I'm teaching you right now what it is that you need to do, right? And when you hire correctly, and this is why also the learning part's really, really important. I think if you are to build this system for you guys to do it by yourself and try it yourself with no business experience, it's going to be tough. Hence why this is what you're trained to do and learn inside of SS University, which is how to become a business owner, how to manage this system. Because if you go into this and you don't know how to manage it, it's going to collapse, right? You can't build an empire without strong roots at the bottom, right? Same as a tree. No strong roots, you won't be able to grow. And this is the same. Cool, you've got the seeds and you're planting the seeds, but are the roots strong? No. So hence why learning plus the system equals growth. It's just very, very simple. And like I said, I wouldn't be preaching this if it hadn't been working for my students, which it is. I mean, recently we had students like Finn, recently we've had students like Ernest hit his first 5 figures, which is so amazing. I'm so proud. And all he's doing again is following the system. He's doing learning and then he's doing system, right? And that is going to equal growth. So he'll be on to 6 figures very, very soon. And he's working a 9 to 5. He's very, very busy. I don't even know how he does it. He's probably busier than most of you watching this. So if he can do it, and even someone like Cedric, for example, who's going to be full-time with FBA very, very soon, if he can do it as well, well, he's doing apprenticeship, uni, and FBA, then all of you watching this, trust me, you can do it. All they did was follow what I'm showing you here. It's not rocket science, guys. And I was the same. I was very busy. I was working 2 jobs. I was going to uni and I managed to scale this business to 6 figures as well. So, you know, it's not rocket science. Let's get it back down now to the CEO part. Now, some of you may want to handle this, but if you do handle this, this no longer, in my opinion, is passive income. So then you can drop the passive income stunt. The idea is you can handle that for 3 months. Like I do recommend my students handle this for 3 months unless they're in a position where they generally have no time, okay? Like they generally have no time and they have a lot of money. So what I'd say is if you've got 5K to 10K plus, CEO would make sense, but I would actually say even if you've got 10K plus, CEO would make sense. If you've got kind of 2 to 5K, I think you should definitely do the mental for the start. I think it will give you peace of mind as well. So if you've got 2 to 5K, Amazon FBA is not passive income for you, I'll be honest. But if you've got 5K plus, at a minimum, ideally 10, you can hire your CEO. Now, what will your CEO do? Well, I have a CEO, and the CEO will essentially oversee the system. So even inside the university, I have some students who join with their CEO, for example, or I will train their CEO to what they have been trained. So for example, yourself, you'll be trained to how to run the system, how to do everything. You might want your CEO trained. So your CEO can join the coaching, or your CEO can even join the mentorship and be alongside of you learning. So, you know, they can actually just do it for you, right? Which is really cool. And I think it's very important. So, and this is tailored towards people that are like, I would say you've got 10K plus, you're very busy, you want passive income, you're older, maybe 25, 30. Life is just at the point now where you would rather hire this so you can spend more time with kids, you know, family, you know. My guys who are 18 to 25, let's be real, you can cut out football time and just doing some rubbish in order to do this, okay? This here is more tailored to the full passive income. It's tailored to anyone 25 plus, anyone who's got kids, anyone who wants to spend more time with the family. They want the business to run really in the background and they don't really want to manage anything. This is what it's for. So hiring the CEO will be really, really useful, okay? So hire the CEO, and the CEO will, like I say, they will oversee system and they will be trained on innovation. So they need to be, in terms of innovation, they'll be trained on changing strategies and also staff as well, and new ideas. So whether that means pivoting to different categories and all these things, this is where the CEO will come into play. Long story short, Amazon FBA can be passive income. However, it's passive income if you have a 4-step system, which includes sourcing VA, admin VA, prep center, and CEO. That is how I run my business. So I know what I'm talking about here. Like I said, we've done 100K last month. This month so far, we're 7 days in. We've already done 3K in profit. We're on track again for another 5-figure profit month. I've got that 4-step system in place, okay? And like I said, most of my students are at the 2-step mark and they're working their way up because they're in that 3-month period, for example. And then soon they're going to add to the CEO and so forth. I've got one student recently who I started with who's going straight into the CEO. No wonder why he's already hit 5 figures within 2 months of starting with me. So that is how it is, okay? And he had he's not working a job at the moment. So he actually has more time, but because he's a bit older, he wants to do other things with his life, we're making it passive, okay? So, you know, that's why you have to think about your situation as well. But as summed up, passive income exists only if you have that 4-step model where the physical and the mental is outsourced. It is not passive income if you are mentally doing the business. So don't talk about it being passive. Understand that you are responsible in your business. Of course, other things are set aside, but you are still responsible, okay? And what I would recommend is until you get to the 5-figure mark in terms of capital, be responsible for your business and learn how it all works. But if you are past that and you've got priorities, like I mentioned before, get that 4-step system in, join SS University, work with me one-to-one. I think if you are going to do this, group coaching that we offer will be useful, but I think this is for the people who want to work with me side by side, because I will actually help you manage the system a lot more. I will manage and help you with your staff as well a lot more. And then we'll kind of work together on certain deals and things like that as well. So if you obviously want to get this up and running, those of you watching this, make sure to check the link in the description, apply for the one-to-one mentorship. I have a few spaces available each month, not tons though. So obviously if a lot of you are going to apply, I'll need to hop on a call with you to see whether you will be the right fit for this. So I hope all of you take action on this video. Like I said, any of my followers on here, make sure you're taking action. If this video doesn't even apply to you, but you're watching, well done as well. You can see the future on what to work towards. Make sure to keep working hard, and I will catch you all soon.